This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I don't know how to call this. It's a story, but then again, it's somebody that's, just a complete phony and selling out. And to me, that's all I see here when I see this Trent Dilfer story. And Trent Dilfer has come out to say that Tua is basically got a better arm than Marino. That's what he said yesterday. So Tua, now here's where, look, I've said this on the show for many years. When you're a voice of a team, and I've had callers call in and then, well, why isn't the voice of the team, more objective and he can't be, or she can't be. He or she is getting paid by the team. You know what I mean? So I never hold it against voices of teams for, their being homers, because I've said it for 20 years now. If I worked for a team, I would be a homer too. I mean, they're paying you, what I mean?
So it's your job to bring pom-poms and cheer.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that, dude. They're paying you, okay? So you work for them. Now, when you're working for an objective party, that allows you to be that. The problem with Trent Dilfer is he's no longer working at ESPN. He's a football coach, and he also trains QBs. Guess what QB he's training? Tua. So, but see, here's the problem. Look, I get it that you're training Tua, and I get that you're going to be positive about him. But, dude, don't get to the point where you're ridiculous and you're just killing all your credibility. You can talk up Tua without going to the extremes and just start talking about stuff that you just are pulling out of your ass. Okay? Because I watched Marino's entire career. So I know how he can throw the ball. And I've watched Tua so far. And no, Tua doesn't have a better arm than Marino. Marino had a laser, dude. A laser. I don't know how many times there were DBs right on top of the receiver. Oh, back when you could cover guys, actually. Back when you could put your hands on them. Back when they were actually fighting for the football, which was a lot harder to play the game than it is now that you can't breathe on the receiver. But that's a whole different conversation and all of that. But I don't know how many countless times I saw Marino that he had such a laser, okay, and his radar was second to none. And the DB would be right next to the receiver, and the ball would come right by the ear of the DB into the receiver's hands. And it was one of those things that Marino knew when you weren't looking and he could throw it past you. You know what I mean? It was just a sick thing that you don't even appreciate it on film. Like when you watch it now and all of that and the video quality and all, it's just, you got to see it to believe it. See it firsthand. And so, look, man, I get it. Hey, look, I'll give you an example. I'm going to start working for Inter Miami. Guess what? You're probably not going to get an objective word out of me for
pom-poms.
Yes, exactly. But I'm not going to sit here and start telling you, well, Inter Miami is the greatest soccer franchise in the history of football. And it's like, dude, there's Man U, there's all kinds of teams, Barcelona, you may want to slow down there. I'm not going to do stupid things like that. So I get Trent Dilfer wanting to defend his guy, because you also have to remember, if Tua fails, it also looks bad on him because he's the guy training Tua. You know what I mean? So he's got a lot out there. And he throws better than Aaron Rodgers and Dan Marino, he told the Washington Post. Come on, bro. Let's go. Put it down. I don't know how many bottles are you drinking where you are Are you in hibernation right now and you're on your second bottle of vodka or something and the Post called up? Yeah, he's got a better arm than Marino and Rogers. What'd you say? Oh, connection's a little bad. He's got a better arm than Marino and Rogers. I mean, is that what happened? I don't know. You tell me. How stoned, how high, how drunk, how OD'd are you that you would say something like, I get it if it's some snotty-ass punk that's 18 or some writer that's barely been in this business and he's 25 or 30 and he hasn't seen a ton of football. I get it if he wants to say Tua's the greatest and all that, and he never watched Elway and he never watched Marino and he never, saw those kind of guys. And he started, well, they're better than those guys. Okay. Trent Dilfer's a little older. Trent Dilfer's my age. He saw Marino play. I get it, my brother. They're paying you. But don't embarrass yourself to that extreme. I mean, I like Tua as a young man, as a passer, all of that. But let's calm down a little bit at this point. Let's not let – I know he has a decent arm. He doesn't have a great arm. I've watched him throw. He doesn't have one of those elite arms. What he is in elite is in accuracy. And by the way, you don't need an elite arm. Joe Montana never had an elite arm. Ever. Not at Notre Dame, not at San Francisco, and not at Kansas City. He had a good arm. He could make most throws. But again, accuracy, anticipation, ball placement. When you're elite in those areas, you don't need an elite arm. And Tua doesn't have an elite arm. Marino had an elite arm. I mean, if anybody that watched Marino, that was an elite arm. Can Elway throw it slightly faster? Yeah. Yeah, Elway. It seemed like Elway was throwing a fastball when he was throwing a football. Okay? You're going to tell me Elway throws it harder than Marino? I'm not going to argue with you on that one. I saw both guys. You're right. But they both had elite arms, and they're both stronger arms than Tua. Man, I used to watch Marino throw a 20-yard strike over his back. I mean, that guy was a freak. Okay? Marino was a total. This guy blew out his Achilles and never repaired it and played the rest of his career with a rolled-up Achilles. That means you lost some of your base so you could throw the ball. And he went on to play at an elite level just like that. When I used to watch Marino in the locker room after a game, he took off more material off of him, armor from everywhere, that I've ever seen. I've never seen a player have more armor than Marino. He had so much stuff on, I think it would hinder most guys. And yet that dude just, no running game, no defense, balls out, go out there. Whatever receiver was out there, you were better because of him. I mean, it just, when you want to start making comparisons, you maybe compare it to a guy or a young guy or two that's in the league right now. If you want to compare Tua's arm to Carson Wentz, which, again, Carson Wentz has got a better arm, but whatever, whoever, some of the young guys, that's fine. Man, don't start including the greats in the game. That just it becomes a joke now. That's the thing. It becomes a complete joke.
But isn't that kind of everything that's come out of the camp? Right?
Yeah.
It's been exaggerated and blown out of proportion.
Yeah.